going to focus on some stretching. We're going to kind of follow what Josh did on Thursday. So if you caught that video, he did a lot of foam rolling between the chest. He did some torso. So we're going to kind of focus on that area too. But when we do stretches, for me, I really like to focus on stretching the whole superficial line. So we're going to essentially do full body stretches almost every time. So today we are going to focus on those areas, but again, we're going to be stretching the whole superficial lines, everything that goes from our head all the way down to our toes, from our shoulders all the way down to our fingers. So we're going to, you might see, there really is no one perfect way to stretch. There's no really wrong way to stretch or right way to stretch. There's a right way to stretch for each of our bodies. So when you go to like a yoga class or when you go do some stretching, from another program that you're seeing, the whole end goal is going to be the same for all of us, but we all have a different journey how to get to a certain position when we're stretching. So keep that in mind that, if we're stretching, our chest and you feel something here in your chest versus somebody feels it in the back, you might have to rotate or you might have to change positions just a little bit because, again, your body is different than somebody else's body. So just keep that in mind when you're stretching. And also, too, that if something starts to hurt, obviously back off a little bit and don't go too deep into the stretch. Keep mindful of your body the whole time that you're stretching, foam rolling, working out, kind of goes the same principle here, too. So we're just going to get right to it. So today you just need a bench or a chair, probably a chair, what would be easier for everybody to have. And then we're going to start with the neck and kind of go down, and here we go. Okay, so we're going to start sitting on the floor. Okay. Awesome. Okay, scoot this back a little bit. So we're starting sitting on the floor. So just kind of move your body around, see what you feel, see what's hindering, see what side versus feels tighter than the other side. My left side is always tighter than my right side. So it doesn't mean necessarily that you stretch it longer. You just kind of stretch it differently. Move your head around, move your shoulders around, move your torso around. Kind of go through all ranges of motion with your torso, with your shoulders, circling around. And we're going to kind of try and hit those areas that are tight and that are tense. Most of us have a lot of tension here in our neck, the way we sleep. I know I slept so wrong last night on my left side. My pillow was too fluffy, so it kind of made my neck and a kink a little bit. So the left side is kind of screaming at me this morning, but all good things because we get to stretch it out today, right? So with that in mind, let's start with our chest. So we're just going to, on your chair or a bench, taking that right hand behind you, sitting up nice and tall. We're just going to kind of move through the shoulder, rotating it down, rotating it back. Again, if this is too much, bring it out to the side just a little bit. You can also bend the elbow if it's too much strain on your chest and your shoulder as well. For me, I can kind of come almost straight back. And again, you can take that hand, you can rotate it down, you can rotate it up. So we're going to go through all different variations of the stretch here. So again, we're just starting here, rotating that shoulder down. You might feel a little bit more of a pull here, rotating it back. We're going to keep moving through these stretches. Sometimes it's necessary to hold stretches. Sometimes it's necessary to hold the stretch, but you're also moving through the stretch and going through different movements and rotation. I like the idea of just moving every day, whether it's foam rolling, whether it's stretching, whether it's a workout, but just move. Whether it's 20, 30 minutes or an hour, just do something to move your body and get some blood flow through it. So we're going to kind of hold it here, hold it back here. Maybe do a little twist in here, getting that torso, getting that whole line in there, taking that hand, twisting it back. Ooh, nice crowd. Right? Rotating it down, and as we rotate it down, we're going to flip that hand over too, just to get more of that rotation in here. And then we're going to pull our head so we can finish that whole superficial line all the way through our fingers, all the way up to the top of our head. Leaning this way, pulling, relax, and again, pulling, and relaxing there. Good, let's switch to the sides. Again, if you can't go directly behind you, go to your side, bend at the elbow if you need to as well. We're going to start here, starting with the rotation in the shoulder, back. Ooh, this side feels a lot different than the other side. Oh, sorry, I'm cheating. I'm leaning into it. I'm trying sitting up nice and tall, keeping the abs nice and tight, sitting on top of your sit bones, rotating down, rotating it back. See what you feel, where it's tight. Mine's really tight. Also here and all in my trap too. Again, probably the way I slept and just the way that my left side sits. From carrying my son all these years, I always carried him on my left side. So my left side's always been kind of kinked. So that's my story on this side. And then rotating it back. Let's do a little twist. Ooh. And come back. And now we're going to flip that hand over, rotating it down, and then pulling the head to the right. Again, we're trying to feel that whole line all the way through our fingers. Take a deep breath, relax, and again, pull. You can take that hand, you can pull it if you need. I don't need much. It's tight already, so I'm feeling this all the way through here too, so I can tell that we're going to need some good chest stretches today. And relax. Good. Roll it around. We're just getting warmed up. Twist. Let's do both arms this time. One back here, and the other one back. Again, if you can't go straight back, that's okay. You don't want to arch too much either. You still want to keep those abs in nice and tight. So if you are arching a little bit too much, you want to bring your hands and walk them out to the side just a little bit. So for me, this is pretty comfortable right here. So lean forward just slightly, keeping the abs nice and tight. So again, we're not trying to arch too much because then that'll put pinches in the lower back, and we don't want to have any injuries while we're stretching. Not an injury, but going out of whack. You want to still try and stay in alignment with your body. So leaning forward, keeping the abs nice and tight, rotating those shoulders back, really trying to pinch in the back of your neck almost, right in the mid-back too, like you have a pencil or a penny there. You want to try and pinch those shoulder blades together and leaning forward slightly, keeping the abs nice and tight. You can drop the head down. You can tilt it side to side. We're just going to kind of stay here for a little bit. If it's too much strain on your elbows as well, you can bend them slightly, and that kind of allows you to go a little bit deeper. So we're just rotating our head, circling it around. Make sure you're breathing. And around. Drop it down. One more big deep breath. With each breath, relax. With each breath, you really want to try and go deeper into the stretch. So as you relax into it, it's still trying to keep those areas nice and supported. So like for this one, I'm keeping my abs nice and tight so that I'm not pulling on anything, and also trying to keep on top of my sit bones so that I'm not pinching anything in my lower back either. It's really easy to get your body out of alignment when you're stretching, when you're working out, or even when you're foam rolling too. So just be mindful, where your body sits. If you have a mirror next to you, that's also great too. When you're stretching, if you want to stretch in like a studio or in a gym, that is also really helpful too, because then you can see the alignment. So when I say alignment, it's just aligning your joints, your wrist, your elbow, your shoulders, your torso, your hips, your knees, ankles, those kind of things. So if I'm sitting here, you don't want to be, can you move my waterfall first? So I can see. Yeah, here we go. So what I mean by alignment is sitting up nice and tall, my shoulders, my hips, everything's here in line. My abs are also nice and tight too. So when I'm stretching this way, I don't want to be, you don't want to be here. You want to be up nice and tall, keeping the abs in nice and tight. So I feel my hip flexors really tight as I try and lean forward, because these are not letting me go too far forward. So you really want to try and stay stacked on top of your body so that you are stretching superficial lines, and you are keeping your body nice in alignment and supported while you're stretching, working out, foam rolling. What's that? Fascial line. That's right. Superficial fascial line. That's right. superficial fascial lines, anatomy trains looked that up too, all the things that we were doing in our PowerPoints. I'll have to load those up onto Vimeo so that you guys can all see them. Let's keep going. So since we got into our shoulders, we're gonna stretch our shoulders some more too with our neck. That's really helping my neck just to get a little blood flow in there. So taking your arms, we're gonna cross the right one across the body, keeping it nice and straight, and your hand is nice and extended. You can hold here, wrist, elbow, wherever you feel most of the stretch. I feel it right in the middle of my forearm, so I'm just gonna pull here. So we're not pulling out of the socket, we're just pulling across our body, but keeping your shoulders down, shoulders nice and aligned, pulling it across. Big deep breaths, and relax. And again, pull. We're just getting some blood flow, feeling our range of motion, feeling what's really tight here, and relax. And again, one more time, pull. We're gonna do a little active stretch on this one. So we're gonna push against your hand, so like you're doing a rear delt fly exercise. So you're gonna push against your hand, pushing the shoulders down, keeping them nice and aligned. So pushing against your hand, big deep breath, and relax. And one more time, push against your hand, and relax. Good. And go ahead and move it around. Let's do it the other side, and then we're gonna get that head into there too. So again, hand is nice and extended. You can bend the elbow just a little bit. I'm gonna have to bend this elbow just slightly because my chest is a lot tighter on this side. So pushing that shoulder down, keeping those shoulders nice and aligned, sitting up nice and tall, and pulling, big deep breath, and relax, and again pulling, and relax. Good, one more time, and relax. Good, so now we're gonna do a little active stretch. We're gonna push against your hands, so it's gonna be a little bicep exercise for you too. So push, and relax, and again push, and relax. Good, one more time, and relax. Good. Oh, nice stretch. Woo. All right, we're gonna do that one again. We're gonna bend the elbow this time. We're gonna get the head in there with it this time. Woo. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing across the body, except we're going to bend at the elbow. We're gonna grab your left shoulder. So I got my right arm, grabbing my left shoulder, and again, keeping those shoulders nice and aligned, lifting that elbow up. So we don't want it down here. It's gonna stretch a little differently. So we're gonna start up here. We're gonna kind of move all through the range of motion in this stretch. So we're pulling across the body. We're gonna tilt the head just a little bit. Make sure you're breathing. And from here, we're just kind of bend the elbow down, lift the elbow up. Woo. I feel it real good right at the top there. Just keep moving with it, keeping the head tilted to your left, lifting up the elbow, and back down. One more time. Holding at the top, pulling just a little bit more, and relax. Woo, that was a good one. Okay, other side. Crossing the body, bending at the elbow, grabbing your right shoulder this time, lifting up the elbow, keeping your shoulders nice and aligned, pulling just slightly, and then we're going to tilt the head to the right this time. Woo, that's a lot tighter. Big deep breath. And let's start with down, pull it down towards your chest. Ooh, that's a nice pop. Lifting up. And back down. And back up. Can't hear me? Hello? Sorry. One sec. Hello, hello? I don't know. is moving on the pause it. Pause the recording. You gotta go down to it. Sorry about that. We wanted to make sure the microphone was working. I'm just gonna move it just a little bit closer, just in case.
Decent enough for them, it's gonna be up.
We paused. Okay, so we were here. Move your shoulders around. We're gonna get into our torso now and our lats. How's your neck doing? Hopefully feeling a little bit looser. We're gonna do some stuff here for me and for back here too for all of us. We did side to side, so we're gonna get into our torso with our neck too. Okay, here we go. Extending the left foot out. Again, only go to where you're comfortable. If you are comfortable here, that's okay. We're gonna extend it out just a little bit here for me. So you wanna kind of go to your side because we're gonna be stretching our torso here. And the superficial line that comes on the side is all the way down on this side of your leg, and it goes all the way to the outside of your foot. So we're starting here, we're lifting up nice and tall. What, can you see? Okay. Lifting up the left arm, flexing the left foot, and we're just gonna take your right hand down and just kind of brace yourself. We're just gonna lean over, we're just feeling right now, so we're not getting too far into it, kind of feeling where it's tight on you, where it's tension. My glutes are definitely feeling a little tight as I'm doing this, but I'm also feeling a little bit more down here versus up here. Some of you might be feeling it up here, some of you might be feeling it in your armpit. So we're just leaning over, keeping your abs in nice and tight as well. One more time. And relax. Good. Let's try the other side. We're going to go back into these stretches with a little bit of holding, pausing through it and going through different rotations. Again, finding where you are comfortable. Pretty comfortable right here. Taking that left arm down, brace yourself. Lifting that right arm nice and tall, keeping the abs in nice and tight. Just kind of lean over and relax. And again. And relax. Ooh, that's a good one. I definitely feel my right side a lot tighter than my left side. Isn't that interesting? My left shoulder, neck, all that is a lot tighter. But that goes with the pattern of my body that I've been like this for a long time, not a long time, but for carrying my son, carrying him like this, leaning on my right side. So this side definitely needs to be opened a lot more, and this side needs to be dropped down. There's a lot of tension in here. So that's my presentation on my body. Your body is obviously definitely different. So again, we're just gonna kind of go through this again, feeling what's tight. My whole right side, all the way from my armpit, all the way down to my hip, feels so much tighter than my left side. So let's switch sides again. I want to keep moving. My legs were falling asleep as we were sitting. So here we go. Taking your right arm, bringing it down, supporting. Again, we're in that same position on your left side and finding where you're comfortable. Lifting up that left arm. We're going to lean over just to where you're comfortable, not so where you're totally strained into a big stretch, just so where you're comfortable. So I'm pretty comfortable here. So you got to kind of get a little workout in your right arm holding you. So we're going to go through different range of motion here. We're going to rotate that arm, lifting up towards the ceiling. Woo. Extending it down, out some more, reaching above you. Make sure you're breathing. Rotating it back this way. And circling it around. And again, one more time, lifting the hand up towards the ceiling, extending that arm above your head. Make sure you're breathing. One more breath. And rotating the arm down now, reaching up over your head again. Going a little bit deeper this time. And relax. Whew, good. Other side. Taking that left arm down, finding where you're comfortable, lifting that right arm up over your head, leaning not too far. Again, we're not straining too much on this stretch. So reaching, here we go. Find where you're comfortable and rotating that hand up towards the ceiling, extending it above your head. Big deep breath. Rotating it back down, extending, and circling it around. And again, lifting the hand up towards the ceiling, rotating. Big deep breath. And extending, rotating the hand down. Oof. And relax. Woo, that felt good. Okay. How are you guys feeling? Feeling pretty good? I'm feeling pretty good. That opened up so much here. So now I want to target the front of our bodies now. So this is the famous yoga pose. I'm not into yoga, but here we go. So we're going to start on all fours, standing one foot back and the other, and then just dropping your hips down to the ground. So here, a lot of us have lower back problems. So we're going to engage the glutes, curling the toes under. So keeping the glutes nice and flexed, and you're pulling your abs in nice and tight as well. Dropping those shoulders down, lifting the head up towards the ceiling. This should be a whole front superficial line stretch, all the way from your ankles, through your thighs, through your hips, all the way up through your torso and to your neck. Big deep breaths. We're going to hold it here for just a minute. Keeping those shoulders down, elbows relaxed. They can't see my hand now.
But you can
Thank
feel
you.
it.
One more big deep breath, keeping the glutes nice and tight. A little deeper and relax. Whew. Come out of it nice and slow. Coming back on your hips, bending the knees, bending the hips. Oh, get a nice stretch in here. One more big deep breath. And we're going to do a stretch here. So extending the left arm straight in front of you. I don't know if you can see. Okay. Extending the left arm in front of you. We're going to lift up just a little bit so we can take that right arm up under and grabbing the shoulder. And then we're just going to kind of twist and really try and peek through underneath your armpit to hold. Again, with each breath, really try and go deeper into the stretch. So deeper would be pushing your hips back towards your feet some more and then extending your arm in the opposite direction. One more breath. And that last one, really try and twist open some more and relax. Oof, that's a good one. Switch sides. Right arm is extended. Left arm is coming up underneath, grabbing the right shoulder. And here we go. Twisting, looking up under your armpit. Pushing those hips back towards your feet, extending the right arm further away from you. One more deep breath. Twist a little more and relax. Whew, good. Whew, from here, extend it out, little stretch, movement. Good, okay. On all fours, again, try and keep your knees aligned with your hands, shoulders completely aligned with your wrists, knees aligned with your hips. I'm gonna kind of do just a little spine stretch here. So we're just tucking up under, pulling the abs in nice and tight, pulling the glutes in, almost like you're trying to fold your body in half. Big deep breath. And extend, looking up towards the ceiling, untucking those hips, pushing those shoulders down. Big deep breath. And one more time, tucking under, chin to your chest, folding your body in half, bringing your hips and glutes closer towards your face, holding. And we're extending towards the ceiling, untucking those hips, lifting up the head towards the ceiling, shoulders nice and back. One more breath. And relax. So we're gonna do that whole series one more time. Extending your arms out, extending your feet back, and dropping those hips down, keeping those glutes nice and tight, shoulders pushed down so you're supporting your stretch, relaxing the neck back. You should feel a whole superficial front line stretch here. We're going to drop our feet this time just to kind of show the different stretches that you will feel with just different variations. We're going to tuck those heels down to the ground with the toes out. So almost like you're doing a turn out with your feet. Well, you are doing a turn out with your feet. So trying to rotate those heels down to the ground. Again, you will feel a completely different stretch now. We're holding it here, lifting the head back. Abs are nice and tight. And then we're gonna tuck our toes back in again, and we're gonna rotate out. So this is gonna be very minimal because of the stretch that we're in. The rotation is gonna be very small, but you're still gonna be able to feel a different kind of stretch. So tucking those toes in, up under your feet, and then rotating those hips out away from you. And we're holding here again, pushing those shoulders down. Big deep breath. Glutes are nice and tight still. Abs are nice and tight. And relax. Woo. Good one. Oh. Now for this one, we're going to bring our knees together. And then we're going to sit back on our hips. So again, we're feeling a little bit of a different stretch here. We're still going to be in the same position. We're still targeting the same areas of your whole side, rib cage, all the way up to your fingers and your lats. Get a little sweaty here. Hope you guys are feeling pretty good so far. So knees, feet together. Don't mind my dirty feet. I like to go outside and we do some grounding in the morning. Walking our feet out. Abs are nice and tight. Marking our hands out, I'm sorry. So making sure that that left arm is straight in front of you, aligned with your shoulder. Taking this right hand, tucking under here, and rotating under your armpits. Extending those hips back towards your feet and extending the left arm away from you, while same time twisting further. So we're going to twist and twist. Keep twisting as much as you can. Big deep breath. One more. Twist as much as you can. Try and look at the ceiling. And relax. Whew, good one. I felt that one. Now go all the way from my shoulder across. You have the superficial line that crosses in front, and that's definitely where I felt that one. So that was awesome. I hope you guys felt a nice stretch with that one too. Whew. Okay, back to it. Right arm directly in front of you, aligned with your shoulder. Left arm grabbing around your right shoulder, and we're twisting. So we're not necessarily holding the stretch. We're going to keep trying to twist and twist and twist until you can see the ceiling from underneath your armpit. That is the goal. Here we go. Big deep breath. Pushing those hips down, away from you, while pulling your right hand away from you. And twisting. Keep twisting, keep breathing, and twist. And twist one more time. Ooh, and relax. Whew. That was a good one. Oh, how's everybody doing? Good, I hope. My torso is getting a nice stretch here. How's your neck doing? I'm gonna do some more neck stretches with the front. We're just sitting on our knees for now. We're just gonna kind of tilt our head back, shoulders, roll the shoulders back and relaxed, elbows nice and tight, close to your body. Try not to let your knees splay out too much, but if that's where it's comfortable for you, that's awesome. So me, I'm gonna kind of focus on here because my inner thighs have always been my weaker spot. So I'm gonna focus on strengthening those just in this stretch while we're here. Big deep breath, rolling those shoulders back, lifting the head back up towards the ceiling. Again, we're not trying to lift away. We want to keep this nice and tight still. We still want to sit on top of our sit bones. We don't want to fall away from that alignment. So again, shoulders are nice and tight and pushed down and engaged. Elbows are pulled close to our body as well. Hands are relaxed. And again, nice and tight here, lifting our head back. So I don't want you to think about leaning back so much of, maybe this way would be better. Thinking of lifting up and arching with the neck. So you're almost arching with your shoulders and your neck and not your whole body. That's a different stretch. That's where we can get into the quads and doing another full superficial line front stretch. But for now, we're just stretching this part right here. So rotating those shoulders back, elbows nice and tight, hands relaxed, rolling the head back, dropping the shoulders down, try not to move back, and we're just holding here. One more big deep breath. And relax. That is probably one of my favorite stretches just to do throughout the day. We find ourselves sitting at our computer, sitting on our phone where everything is forward, everything gets shortened here. So really lengthening that. And in the morning, if you want to get into a routine of it, laying off the edge of your bed. This is my bed, but laying your head off the bed, just like this. If you have a chair, don't worry about trying this right now. I'm just showing you what you can do in the morning to kind of just get some blood flow, get that neck nice and stretched. I'm sure a lot of us sleep with big pillows, when really we should try and sleep with the smallest pillow possible. If you can hear me. You really want to try and sleep with the smallest pillow possible. And possibly even without a pillow. Again, so you're not, with the big fat pillow, you're not further making this tighter. You want to extend this, especially while we sleep, especially when you're breathing too a lot of sleep. Apnea can also be fixed with extending this area on your neck while you're sleeping because it opens your airways, it opens your lungs, whereas you're constricting it here when we have bigger pillows. So just a quick pause here. We're laying here in your bed. You can see my head is nice and flat and it's open, so it allows everything to open here and you can breathe. Whereas if you have pillows, it lifts up your head, puts strain on your neck here, tightens the muscles here. So that could be ultimately a goal if you wake up sometimes with just a tight headache. Maybe try a smaller pillow, a thinner pillow, and that will also really help lengthening your neck here and not waking up with headaches in the morning like some of us do. When we sleep wrong, or when we, like I said, sleep with the wrong pillows, like when you're at somebody else's house or traveling, sometimes you just can't avoid waking up just funky because you're not in your own bed. So if you have a really cushiony bed, it's also a lot easier to not sleep with a pillow because you have that cushion to kind of conform to your head and give you some cushion underneath your head and neck. But I've noticed a lot of my tension has gone away when I do sleep with super flat pillows or no pillows at all. Also, when Josh used to kind of snore sometimes, I'd always tell him, take out your pillow, and he would immediately, and it would open up that whole airway there, and his snoring would go away. So let's keep going. Pause there. How you have this. Okay. Whew. How's everybody doing? Good. What are we feeling? What time is it? Oh, okay. We're going to do just a few more stretches. We're going back to our chair or bench, whichever you have. Whew. So we're going to go back to that first stretch that we did, but we're going to do some rotations with it. So we're going to bend the elbow, lift it up nice and tall, taking your left hand on your right knee, and then pulling and relax, and again, pulling and twisting. Maybe you can kind of go deeper into it now that we've done some other stretches to open up these areas. I know I can go deeper into this now. So I have my hand nice and braced on here too. It's nice and open. My elbow is nice and tight and engaged. And so is my rhomboids in the back here. So I'm not just, rotating into this. Everything is supporting itself. This is nice and tight. I'm pulling this knee to help me. So we're going to twist again, do a couple of twists here. Relax, and again. One more time. Good. Switch sides. That feels a lot better. Right hand, left knee, left hand, bending the elbow this time so you can go deeper into the stretch. Big deep breath and twisting. Abs are nice and tight. And again. And last time. And relax. Good. Hope you guys are doing pretty good. Go across the body. Ooh, let's do a little hug here. My left arm is on top. Trying to grab my hands in the back. Big deep breath. And kind of pull your shoulders back so where you feel a nice stretch here. Ooh, felt that in my shoulders. Switch hands. So right hand is on top now. Trying to grab my hands in the back. Big deep breath. I'm pulling tighter with each breath. Ooh, okay. All right, let's do one more. Just the arms. We're going to come up on our knees. Whew. Again, keeping the knees nice and tight or a little bit apart, but we're not splaying our knees apart. Trying to keep them here, nice and aligned, so you can have them a little bit more open here. We're going to lift our hands, both hands above our heads. You can grab here. I don't know if you can see my hands when I lift them up. Grabbing here, you can hold here. We're going to go through some rotations anyway, so just make sure that they're nice and relaxed so that you can rotate through this. Big deep breath. Again, we're sitting nice and aligned. We're not going to be leaning back, not going to be leaning forward, trying to keep our shoulders aligned with our hips. Everything here is nice and tight. So here we go. Lifting up nice and tall. Hands above the head. So we're really trying to, this way, squeeze your ears together. Squeeze your elbows together by squeezing up against your ears. So almost like you're trying to touch your elbows together from either side of your head. So lifting up nice and tall, pulling your shoulders almost to your ears as well. Big deep breath, keeping the abdomen nice and tight. And relax the shoulders down. Now we're going to pull them down away from our ears while pulling your hands up towards the ceiling, so you have a simultaneous pull going on right now. So pulling your hands up towards the ceiling, pulling your shoulders down, almost like you're going to get ready to do a lat pull down exercise, but that's not what we're doing here. Extending the arms up towards the ceiling, pulling the shoulders down towards your rib cage, keeping the abs in nice and tight, and pulling those elbows back towards your head. Pulling, keep pulling. One more. And relax. Whew, that was a nice one. Sometimes my stretches end up being workouts because of the way I engage things and because of the way that I try and align things as well. So I really try and make sure that everything I do is quality versus quantity. You know, going through a series of stretches that you can't even do for an hour, that's where I found that yoga might not be for everybody. Yoga might not even be for me, especially when I would have back flare-ups and things like that. It almost would make it worse because my body can't move like that, and my body can't go through these different motions and different stretches because I've got different things going on with my body. So it's really important to listen to your body, to pay attention to your body, and to understand what's going on, to understand where it's been and the injuries you've had, the tension that you've had, and to be mindful of those things when you are foam rolling, when you are stretching or working out, just doing anything with your body. It's important just to be mindful of what you're feeling, what's tight, what's hindering you, things like that. If you went through any of these stretches and you couldn't do any of them, I encourage you to go back and watch the video from this last Thursday dated September, what's today? So it might have been the 19th. Correct me if I'm wrong. But just going through those foam rolling exercises so that you can dig through those tension layers and then come back and try these stretches again, or your own stretches too. But it's okay to go back and forth. A lot of times I would do foam rolling and then stretch it out and then go back to my foam rolling, or vice versa. But I encourage you to do the foam rolling first and then do the stretches after. Obviously, on an off day, you don't want to do these things while you're working out because you're opening up layers of tension and they become weak. So you don't want to go and work out and when you've just opened up a Pandora's box, so to speak. So that's it for today. We're going to focus on some more stuff on Thursday with Josh, Thursday therapy, Sunday stretch with Sarah. Yes, I'm done if you want to say anything. Thanks so much for joining and for watching. And again, if you guys have any suggestions on what you want us to focus on, what you want us to go over, please email us or find him on Instagram and we can tie those into our next videos. And maybe else anything?
Yeah, watch out.
Oh.
So while I was over there, like kind of messing with my son playing he's playing the game on the phone, and we try and minimize that, but I'm gonna start making things on, I call them like video game bumps, which are right up in here from being on the computer. So devices, things like that, we're like this. These get really over engaged because a lot of times we pick up our elbows. So I was just sitting there, and I'm going to replicate what I was doing. And I was working on him. And that's kind of a deal we've made recently, is that if you're going to have any kind of game time or anything like that, and I've switched him to the computer so he can actually be far away, and he can sit up in like an actual seat for it. But it's a deal that I've made with him that he's going to allow me to work on him and keep things in check, because The more we hold these devices, you're pumping electricity through your body. There's no way around it. So I'm sitting behind him, and the seat kind of comes up like this, and really where I can lift my arms up. It doesn't matter what you do this on. Actually, to do it on this, for me, I'm going to have to go back. And you're just resting your upper chest on anything. And so for me, this one, let's see, maybe if I sit and go back. Yeah, you can just do it, and I can pull myself into it here. But anything you can do, like when you lean on like the back of a chair, when you lean on like the countertop, anything you can raise your arms up on. I keep looking at the TV because we moved everything. But every time I basically get around anything like a chair. Yesterday, I broke down both of my armpits, just putting my arm over a chair, resting it up in here. And then, today leaning over the back of the chair, just so how I was working on Joshua, it just so happened it was digging right up in here where I really need it. And it was hitting these whole pec lines because your pecs are going from out here across. So we need to think about that. But anything you can do to raise your arms up and put some pressure through here, find stuff, guys. I mean, I have tons of things around here I could see just in our, the separation between these walls right here, my countertop, stuff like this desk over here, our table over here, anything that's up, you can lean on. So if you're at work, if you're out somewhere and you're in some pain, a chair is amazing to put your arms over, sit in it. Nobody will even know what you're doing sometimes. And a lot of times people will mess with me and be like, what are you doing, man? They always see me like messing with it. So just think about that, a chair, putting your arm over, and then just digging in here, using your weight and letting your head hang over. If you're by yourself or if you're with somebody, you could just rest it there. But, or anything that you could find to put pressure through here. So if you're having neck pain, you're having any kind of dysfunction up here, arm numbness, something, and you're out and about and you have no choice, or you're in your house on the fly and need to do something and don't have the time to foam roll, just think about stuff. Boom. Anything you can do to hit up in here and then sit in a chair and you can do stuff there. So if you're at breakfast or something, with the kids, the family, and you really are being attentive, just think of these things. I wanted to drop in and do that because when it comes to my head and I'm doing it, I like to share it with you guys. So yeah, exactly. I was feeling, she said it goes right in line with all the stretches she was doing too. And it's kind of like what I was thinking. I'm like, oh, this goes right hand in hand with what we were doing, but also she's doing it and going in my head's going, I need that right now. I need to go, get ready for working after this and stuff like that. So, but thanks guys. Thanks as always for coming in. Hope you enjoyed Sunday Stretch with Sarah. Look forward to next week, Thursday Therapy with me. Who knows what it'll be, but I'm definitely going to bounce around the same way I would do with myself. So I think I'm going to repeat the medial and lateral lines on that. So we have we can do those. So basically every 2 weeks, you'll be having an entire, more or less superficial pathway, hitting those fascial lines all the way through the body. And if you were to take 2 of those and combine them, I bet you could do it in about an hour and a half. If you're speeding through it, just hitting them and just trying to get the big knots, not trying to go through everything. But that's what we're going to try and do as far as setting this up, so you guys can do things. And we showed you the basics. We showed you the fundamental foundations of how you form, and stretch, and maintain your body or work on somebody else. And now we want to actually show you the most effective, time-efficient ways that you can apply these things to yourself and get stuff done on the fly rather than. I think most people are defeated by self-therapy because they try and overcommit to too much time. They think it's going to be 2 hours, every other day. That's nonsense, okay? I don't have time like that, and I'm the advocate for it. So neither does Sarah. We try and do things like this, and we hope that you guys respond and let us know if this is being an effective methodology for you guys to apply it to your own body and get stuff done faster and feel like you can accomplish things without giving up on your self-therapy goal. Love you guys. Have a good day.